I can't tell you.
He's a tech-savvy guy, gonna show you the way. You better load your bags, cause crypto's here to stay. Listen up, gonna teach you about this and that. But he's just a goofy guy in a straw hat. So join in and have a laugh. It's gonna be a good time, that's a fact. Information and crypto parodies. Sit back and enjoy the show. You just never know which way you'll go. Get ready for Digitspin Crypto.
How you doing, guys? Yeah, that don't look right. We'll have to fix that. All right, let's lower this background music a little bit. So we're gonna come to you tonight. It's Digitspin Crypto. We're gonna talk about all this excitement and why the world has changed and how this is going to interact going forward, not only with cryptocurrency, but the bullshit that's going on is going to be met. The challenge is going to be accepted by the public. We're no longer going to just be playthings for people to take. It's going to stop. This show is going to be pretty rough tonight because you know what? I'm really pissed off. And I know that you guys are used to me not talking rough. But this shit's got to stop. Back in 1773, there was something called the Boston Tea Party. Hopefully you learned about it in school. You have a little information. Hopefully you know more than I do. But as we grew up, we understood that when there's abuses against the society, whether it comes from the government or the elites, eventually society does what it can to meet the confrontation in the most palatable way. Nobody ever wants bloodshed, but there's ways around that to hit them in the pocketbook. So when the colonies were initially ruled by England, the tea, the British East India Company would send the tea over here to the colonies. The colonies were a cash cow for England at the time. And they imposed taxes that went directly into the coffers of these companies and the king and obviously England, the government. And the people rose up because when they selected taxes and they took taxes from you, there was at least some type of representation, some way to be able to communicate the feedback. And the colonies were never given that right. They were just a cash cow. We'll bleed it out of them. We'll take, and we'll take. Now, at that point, people didn't want to fight. They didn't want to cause any bloodshed. So they went down to the harbor. They broke open the boxes and the crates of tea and threw it into the harbor. They revolted. Told them to go screw themselves. And that's exactly what happened. And everybody knows of the story. If you want to know more, look it up on Wikipedia, do a little research, understand it. When you take advantage of the populace will find a way. They can't beat back. They don't have an army. They don't want to kill anybody. But they will find a way to get in your shorts. And this is exactly what's going on. And everybody calls it whatever they want to call it. I just put it in there, the GameStop revolution, the GameStop revolt. It's basically the Tea Party of 2021, the Boston Tea Party of 2021. People are tired. Tired of being taken advantage of. Tired of having their wealth stolen through inflation, through these Wall Street situations like hedge funds that provide no service whatsoever except to maximize profit for a very few elites. Secretive. Now, in the United States, we have three branches of government: the executive, the legislative, and the judicial. And I'm going to be quite frank with you. It's pretty shocking to me that the freaking thing holds together. We have people from all over the world. There's nothing in common except the flag and our belief in freedom and self-reliance. Not socialism, not communism. We believe that we should have an opportunity. We can move up in class if we work hard, earn extra dollars. And the only thing that really holds us together is justice. So let's take a look. The legislative branch of the United States. I'm going to bring up the chat so I can see what you guys are talking about while I'm rambling like a lunatic. Our legislative branch is the one that makes the laws. We have the Congress, the House of Representatives, and the Senate. They work together. One is voted on based on the amount of people. One is brought in based on the amount of states. You get 2 senators per state. This way, the people can be balanced out by the rights of states. This way, you have states like Rhode Island, which will never have a lot of people, don't get railroaded by one city in another state. It allows balance of power. The problem is, the damn thing's broken. It's all bought and sold. There's a bunch of mental patients that get voted in every year, and the shit don't work. And you can see it every year. It's the Congress is supposed to be a steam pile of bullshit of the average guy, and they beat the crap out of each other. The Senate is supposed to be a little bit more, with a little more gravitas, and they're supposed to have their act together. But half of them are bought and sold. A lot of you got people in Congress that think islands can flip over if there's too many people on it. You have mental patients literally getting voted into Congress. The legislative branch is just broken. It's shocking that it even functions in any way. And if they get anything out, God bless them. But it's seriously broken. People go into them with $50,000 in the bank account and come out millionaires. How's that? Why should that happen? They're supposed to be working. Right, Finks? You have the executive branch. The laws that are created in the legislative branch are executed through the executive branch. They make they oversee it and they make sure that the laws are taken care of, that they're followed. Your police, your president, your army. For the most part, I mean, we may not all like who is the president. For the most part, the presidency works. I give it a decent amount of credit. It works. They give up a lot of their power to the jackasses in the other branches, and they need to step up their game. And the third branch is the judicial. And in the United States, I'm going to be honest with you, it's the only thing that holds the United States together. And how it holds it together, it's the glue. It allows the average Joe to have the same rights as the wealthy class people. It allows you to go to court, and if something is being done to you wrong by the powerful, you should have equal justice. And as long as that judicial system works, the United States finds the ability to have a happy medium of exploding and the gravity that pulls it back together like the sun. If the judicial system fails, this country will pop. Because it's the only thing that keeps the common man from being trampled on by those that make the rules. And if a rule is unjust, the judicial system is supposed to fix that. It's supposed to call it out. And this has to survive. If the judicial system, a lot of it is turned into legal trickery and process of paperwork to try to bleed out the other guy who doesn't have the money. You see this all the time. And it's starting to fail us. But if the judges can keep it together, they keep the country together. Now, I give you all this pre-information because we all seen what's going on with the hedge, with GameStop and American Airlines and BlackBerry. They're companies, these things called hedge funds, and their job is to find ways to make money for elite people. Some of them are so secret, and these hedge funds create nothing, produce nothing. Their job is to find companies that are low in value, buy them up, get them rolling, and then sell them off at a higher price. All right, good. But most of the time, it's easier for them to destroy companies. And they do that by shorting them. And I'm going to explain exactly what that means. And what they do by shorting them is that they destroy the stock value of that company and bring it down so low. They scare people off. You guys see it all the time in crypto. There's bullshit news that comes out. Yeah, see these guys, these jackasses, JP Morgan and them saying Bitcoin's worthless, don't buy that shit, and they're buying the stuff behind your back. Because they want to steal all that wealth so that they can control the value of it and sell it to you at some absurd price. Make you use their system once again. Don't get rid of your crypto. I'm telling you now, at all costs, do not get rid of your crypto. Now, they destroy these companies, and how they do that is by shorting them. And by shorting them, and then they tell their friends at the other hedge fund, hey, we're going to short this company over here. And so, this guy's a big hedge fund. If they're shorting it, I guess I should short it because the shit's going to go down. And everybody starts shorting it. People start selling it off. And they bring the price down so low that they take a look at it and they say, all right, well, sometimes, what are they got, it's down to, I'm making up numbers. We got the price down to $50 million. They've got $400 million in assets. They'll buy it all up then at that point, and then break it up, sell off the assets. And at the same time, they're making money by shorting it. They play a game. They're making a bet. And they do it by destroying other stuff. Now, let me explain real quick how a short works. Let's say a stock for ABC is $100. They go to somebody who has that stock, and they say, "Can I borrow that stock?" They rent it, or they take it from them, and they say, "I'll promise to give you back that stock plus a fee." So you're basically renting out your stock. So they take that stock from them, and the first thing they do is they sell it. So that stock was selling for $100. They sold it for $100. They don't owe the other company $100. They owe them one stock. They could care less how much it was. They have to return the stock. So this company takes that stock, they sell it for that $100. And then they wait for the price to go down. They tell their friends, hey, we're shorting this. They'll talk about how GameStop or how some of these companies are no good. They have no future. People start dumping it because the retail investor hear this and they dump this stuff. And other hedge funds start dumping it. It's the same as Bitcoin. You hear about the short squeeze and they're gonna short something. And then they go out, these whales, they have X amount of Bitcoin, they open up a short, then they go out and they sell their Bitcoin, the price goes down, they make money on the difference, and then they buy back their Bitcoin. Same thing. So this price, they get this price, and then the price goes all the way down, they break it down, and then it ends up at $10, because everybody's shorting it. Well, they sold it for $100. They have that sitting on the table. They go down and they buy that stock back for $10. And then they give back the stock. The guy who rented it to him could give a rat's ass how much it sold for because he rented it. He made $10 to rent it to him. And he gets his stock back. But in the meantime, this company made $90 by renting this stock. Alright? And that's how it goes down. The problem lies if they buy it at 100, and now they have this stock, they paid 100 for it. If the price goes up to 200, well, they still have to return the stock back to the renter, to the owner. The owner can give a rat's ass how much you had to pay for it. You owe me one stock. And that's your problem. They're making these bets. And they know that they usually can control the price when they all start selling it. But if the price goes up and it goes to $200, now this company has to pay $200. If they sold it for $100, they have to pay $200 to get that stock back by a certain date. And if it starts going up too high and it goes to $300, now they've got to come up with an additional. They've lost $200 to buy back that stock to give it back to this guy. Because he could care less how much it costs. He just wants his one stock back. This guy's the guy holding the bag. This is how shorts work. Now, if the price starts going up and you hear these short squeezes, price starts going up, these guys start panicking because now I have to pay $200 for a stock. I've actually lost a ton of money. I've lost $100 because I sold it for $100. It's now worth $200. I have to put in an extra $100 just to give this guy his stock back. So I'm out $100. I better close this out. I better close this out so that before the price goes up more and I have to put more money in, because you all know they ain't buying one stock. They're buying thousands, 10,000s, hundreds of thousands. Times $100, that's a lot of money. The problem is now they reach into their pocket, pull out another 100, they got the $200. Now they have to go to the market and they have to buy the stock at the $200 price. And this is why when you see short squeezes happening, the price will go up, and also in the short squeeze, and when they close out the positions, all of a sudden you'll see this spike up because all those positions had to buy the stock at the higher price. And it caused the price to cascade even higher. And this is why you'll see the short squeezes. Boom, all of a sudden the price will bang up. Then it'll fall back down. And that guy's out the money. They took their bet. They investigated. They had their plan. They knew that they would be able to make this happen. This is what we do. We're elites. We break down these companies. We hedge, with the hedge fund. And then we break them down, and then we make sure that our specialty investors, because not anybody can get into them, our specialty investors are these rich guys or gals can make at least 20%. These guys investigate. They know the bet that they're taking. They're responsible for the money that they put onto the table. Now, let's take a look at what happened with GameStop. Going for $4 last year. People are like, there's a new PlayStation coming out. There's a new Xbox coming out. I think that they can make some money. I think GameStop's worth a little bit more. Guys start talking about it. Yeah, I think there's some potential. People start buying it. Yeah, that sounds logical. It sounds good. The price starts going up. Meanwhile, they're trying to push the price even lower because they want to close out GameStop, slice it up. They want to get it so cheap, these hedge funds, that they can slice up whatever assets are left and walk away with a few $100 million that they can divvy up with their buddies. And all the rules and regulations are set up to support them. Because you know why? Because they pay the damn legislation branch. They buy off all these things. They make sure that the legislation that they want is put into place. That's how all these guys in the legislature end up walking out millionaires. They donate to this fund. They donate to this guy. Shit's broken. Now, GameStop starts going up. Hedge funds aren't too worried yet, but they're concerned because we're starting to go negative. They put so much money into the shorts. And people started looking at the charts and the information, and they're like, holy smokes, there's probably almost 50 to 70 billion dollars in shorts in these few companies. The Melvin Capital had $3 billion that they bought up to be able to do in shorts. This is what they had to get just to cover the shorts. All right, they had bought so much and put it into shorts to make the price go down that when the price started going up, they kind of waited it through. There's so much money in there that people were like, you know what? This is a perfectly good bet. If you're going to put that much money on one side of the table, there's going to be somebody on the other side that's going to be like, I'll take that bet. And as this grew, people were like, if you just buy the stock and hold it, and buy a little bit more of it, and let's get the price up, we can squeeze out the short. We can make the price so much more. If they bought it at $10 and we've got it up to $150, that's 15 times the amount that they had to put in to borrow the short, to borrow the stock, to get out before they lose even more. And when they get out, the price goes up even higher. What happens at that point? Somebody's going to sell. But there was a ton of money to be made. There were people who bought this stock at $4 last year. You had 1,000 shares, $4,000. Well, 1,000 shares at 300. When you add it up, 300, 3,000, 30,000, $300,000. $1,000 turned into $300,000. These companies, these hedge funds were losing so much money because they didn't close out their positions. Because it's going to go down. Nobody can keep the price going up. But the people kept making it go up. We're going to make you eat your lunch. You're going to pull this bullshit? You don't control us anymore. And I think cryptocurrency, for a lot of this, people that didn't understand all this stuff learned it by trading cryptocurrency. Putting $1 in for something, $20. Learning how a market works. How shorts work. The general public became educated. And this is the reason why they made it so difficult to understand. Like you turn on the economic channel, you haven't a clue what they're talking about. They want it that way. They don't want you to understand. They want you to listen to what they tell you. This is how a lot of religion started in the beginning. There was only a few people that could read. You had to go to the priest, to the chief, or whatever thing it is, and they would tell you what's in the book. And they would guide you because you weren't capable of reading it. And that's why the printing press was such a dramatic change to humanity. It allowed everybody to have a book, to learn how to read, to see the words for themselves. It's my belief cryptocurrency has helped this. It's my belief the internet, and then it's been around, but that's helped us do this. To be ability to communicate, to educate each other. People doing YouTube videos explaining how this works. People are getting smarter. You know why? Because they're able to read the book for themselves now. They no longer have to be told. And when they understood and they realized, wow, there's $70 billion here, I will take that bet. And enough people did that legally, responsibly, and understood that, hey, you know what? I put in $500. I may not see it again. How many of you buy crypto and I'm gonna put $100 into this coin? I don't know if it's gonna do anything, but you know, I like what it does. You know, I like the information. The guy who runs it seems up front. It seems like it's gonna have a function that nobody else has. I'll take that bet. And you know what? I understand. I may never see that money. I may go to my casket with a set of keys that has no value whatsoever. But you know what? I couldn't take it with me anyway. And people, I'm going to take that bet. And enough of the people have power. When we come together and we're educated, we don't have to be taken advantage of anymore. And they bought the stock, and they bought the stock, and they bought the stock. And you know what? They bought the stock. Till eventually, they just ran out of money. They couldn't keep it up because they put so much into it. You guys see it all the time. I mortgaged my house and everything else, and then the Bitcoin goes down, and then they lose their shirt. Well, these assholes lost their shirt. And it's not anybody else's problem. It's their problem, because they're supposed to be the pros. This is a change. The ability for us to understand and not be taking advantage of any further is just starting. It's just starting. You mark my point. This event is going to be in history books. 100 years from now, you and me are going to be in the history books. Now, I don't own any GameStop. I don't buy stocks. I think I can do much better with cryptocurrency, and it's kind of similar, except I don't own anything of the company. I own the value of the coin. I think I do much better with that. I have no interest in stocks. Maybe Coinbase stock, but I have no interest in them really. I think they're limiting. But there are people that like it. It's easy to work with. People are being educated. The world will not be the same. They will not be able to do this. Now here's the problem. These companies get on TV. These billionaires get on TV. That's not fair. A bunch of big babies took their checks and they bought the stock, and that's not how it's supposed to work. Says who? Who the fuck are you to say that shit? You took your big boy pants, you put them on, you placed a bet, you freaking lose. Good day, sir. A little Willy Wonka I had to throw in there. Good day, sir. Tough shit to you. Don't mess with the people. And now that they're being educated, the new generations are growing up with cryptocurrency. They're understanding how this stuff works. The general plebe guy has a basic conversation. You ain't gonna be able to pull this shit off. And you know what? They're coming out and they're saying, we ain't shorting anything because we're gonna get our ass handed to it. And you know what? That's exactly right. But they then try to turn it around, start coming out and attacking, saying we don't know what we're doing. We know perfectly well it was a perfectly good bet. You put that much money on the table, I'm going to throw $1 down just in case I win. It's called the lottery. How many of you buy a lottery ticket for $1 for $500 million? Well, you throw $70 billion on there, you know what? I'm putting my dollar in. Tell us we didn't know what we're doing. And they want to change regulation. And then you got the nerve of Webull and Robinhood to stop trading. Seriously, what the fuck is going on in this country where that something like that could even be considered an option to literally manipulate the market? I'm going to tell you something. The justice system better hold this together. They better apply justice for the common man against the wealthy. It better happen, or you're going to destroy this country. The justice system is the only thing that's the glue. I've explained this in the beginning of the show. It's the glue. If there's no justice, where the wealthy can just stomp all over the average person has no choice. Has no choice but to do something ugly. And we don't need or want that here. It's not what we're about. I pray that these lawsuits go through and people go to jail. And it's going to be people that are shutting things down, people that are manipulating at a broad scale, not the common man, the average Joe who bought a couple of shares. What the hell is going on in this country? This is absolute bullshit. You look at this asshole. In my opinion, the guy's an asshole.
The reason the market is doing what it's doing is people are sitting at home getting the checks from the government, okay? And this fair share is a bullshit concept. It's just a way of attacking wealthy people, and you know, I think it's inappropriate. We all got to work together and pull together. The reason.
All right. This guy here, Leon Cooperman, is a flaming case of he needs to definitely check himself. He needs to check himself. You put your big boy pants on, Leon. You placed your bet. You think that you can just stomp all over everybody. Well, you know what? We're being educated. We're figuring out your tricks. You're not just going to stomp on it and steal the equity. The poor guy who owned the stock at $10 and you drive it down to $1.50 a quarter so that you can steal the wealth out of it, suck the wealth out of it. You know what? You want to put a bet down that you're going to win. Well, you lost. You lost. Put your big boy pants on and stop blaming others for your incompetence in a particular trade. We've all taken a beating on a trade. All of us. The audacity, the mindset of this creature to come onto a TV show and try to blame the people that were taking the bet on the other side. You don't bet just one side and get to win all the time. Kind of a freaking creature is this guy? It's shit like this and the attitude that he deserved, that this is the way it's supposed to be because it's me and I have the money. You can kiss my ass and pucker up them lips because I want a big freaking kiss on my ass. You bastard. Thank God. It's been filed already. Robinhood customers filing class action lawsuit right off the bat. I think it's already been submitted. We need to get that rocking. We need to get this into the justice system so that something can be done. People need to be dealt with. This should not just be a fine. This is blatant. This is blatant destruction of the equilibrium of this country. Class action lawsuit filed. This is what we need. File against Robinhood. This company needs to go out of business. This is unacceptable. If you're using Robinhood, close your stuff out. Get out of that thing as soon as you can. Go out there. Tell them how you feel on the app. You know, there was like 300,000 people who gave a review. And you know they were erasing them? The Google in the App Store. Apple locked it, so you can't do it. So it got stuck at 4.8. Google, the Play Store, it went down to 1 star. And they're erasing them. Literally erasing. I saw 100,000 disappear literally live on the screen. propping these companies up. Everything is against the ability for the average common person to have equal footing. These companies, these technology companies, are part of this control system that needs to be fixed, and you're going to do it with cryptocurrency. Hold on to your crypto. Now, this guy here, he was claiming, this is coming from Simon, and this was shared out. This was posted by user Odin. He says, I work for Robinhood. He goes, please don't kill me. Low-level technical shit. Computer science major, not a finance side. Now, he claims that the CEO, the founder, Vladimir, and the C-suite received calls from Sequoia Capital and the White House pressuring him to closing trading on on GameStop. And he claims that it took place at E-Trade and others. I don't know if this is true, but you know that there was phone calls made. You know that there was things going on behind the scenes. This guy feels stuck in there. Now, GameStop, Robinhood, they cracked me up. They claim that, as a brokerage firm, we're trying to protect you. So we're going to keep you from buying more stock. Basically causing the stock to go down. They know it's going to go down at that point. I would love to see who opened up shorts at the high end so that they can claim all that money as it went down, because it couldn't go up because nobody could buy it, because they literally fucked everybody by closing the ability to purchase it. If I think it's a great company or I see a bet, I'm going to put $300 on the table. Whether the company's good or not is irrelevant. It's a good bet for us. This here reminds me of so much that's going on with government. We're doing it for your protection. This is the same bullshit. But this here, it's really easy to see. It's really easy to see the bullshit. It's right on your screen, right there. It's smeared all over it. The government likes to hide it and they obfuscate it with other bullshit. So you don't know what kind of bullshit you're looking at. This is real clear bullshit. And you had, and I don't think I'm the only one that's looking at this. Even the Reddit founder. This is basically a bottom-up revolution, shifting power to small investors. And he said retail investors now have their chance to flex back at hedge funds. They can, see this as an opportunity. If you're going to put that much money on the table, we're going to take the bet on the other side and keep you in check. Your right to just destroy stuff and squander it. You get paid to just destroy things. Alexis was saying, I do think this is a seminal moment. I don't think we go back to a world before this, because these communities, they're a byproduct of the connected internet and the education, the ability to read the book, as I was talking about before. And I believe this guy's right on target. We've watched the internet now for the last 10, 15 years, thanks to the rise of social media and all this infrastructure, bringing a bottom-up revolution in so many industries. And now it's happening to finance. And I agree. And this is the reason why Bitcoin is so important. And this is the same crap that they pull on you with Bitcoin. This is how they want to get the Bitcoin out of your hands. The price goes up, it goes down. They talk bad about it. People panic, get rid of the Bitcoin. They buy it up. The price goes up to the next level. Keep your cryptocurrency. If it's Electroneum, if it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever you have. Move it around. Sell it, trade it. Get more Bitcoin if that's what you like to do. I think that's a solid option. Bitcoin clearly is going to be the leader. Even when they have digital currencies. When there's digital currencies out there that are going to be representative of the fiat of those particular countries, you may get paid and it'll show up in your wallet. And I guarantee you people are going to just dump it right into Bitcoin as their savings account. Because you know what? It's going to make money overall sitting there than if it just stayed $1 or just stayed a ruble or stayed whatever thing your country uses, seashells. Finance is going to be, we're in the midst. When the textbooks are read, we're going to talk about the financial revolution and the GameStop revolt. And I wish I was going to be young enough to be able to see these books written. I really wish I could, but it's going to be there. It's going to be how the financial system changed in the world. Even the Republicans in Washington are warning Wall Street. The GameStop populists are more powerful than you think. It's whoever it is, they're right. We're learning to read. And we're going to read that book ourselves. And we're going to see the words that are in it. And we're going to interpret them. We're not going to just be told anymore. And we're not going to be told about what we could do with our money, how we can spend it, that we're not allowed to buy from this vendor, or this vendor can't accept credit cards because they sell pew-pews, or or whatever that they sell. It's not some corporation's business. You think that I would want to have a Facebook coin after what I see them doing? Locking people out of Facebook because they have wrong think? You think I would let them lock me out of my money? Are you a moron? Wouldn't touch that shit with a pole. I hope that crap never comes out. It's a freaking plague. You get yourself some Bitcoin, get yourself some Ethereum, some Electroneum. Now you're talking. Bitcoin will always be the way to go. Ethereum pretty much also. If you get into coins that are regulated, they'll have advantages to interact. But there will be a centralized point where they can be controlled by a court order or a government. So you do have to keep that in mind. And a lot of coins will end up that way. Only the ones that are ground up, open source, will truly be, the free way to go. So make sure you keep some Bitcoin. You're going to do good with Ethereum also. If you have a little extra, pick out some coins that you like. I happen to like Electroneum. No, I'm not going to keep all my money in Electroneum. I think it's insane. But I have a lot of expectation for Electroneum. They've got a lot of amazing stuff up their sleeve still. And don't kid yourself. Don't think otherwise. But it will be a controlled, centralized environment. If you're using the Electroneum wallet, if you keep it on your own PC wallet, like a CLI or GUI wallet, then you can control it. And that's a good way of making sure that you keep the majority of your Electroneum in a paper wallet so that you can access it with a GUI wallet. This way you can tell it where to go and how to get there, and nobody can take it from you, and there's no subpoena that can take it from you unless you voluntarily give it. There's no haircut that's going to happen. If the bank goes bad and they want to take 10% from everybody to bail out the bank, they won't be able to touch your cryptocurrency that you control in a wallet. That's why you want these things. You know, keep some Electroneum in your Electroneum wallet, your mobile wallet. Put the rest on the blockchain itself. Best way of doing it. Now, Robinhood, there were people that were claiming that Robinhood was selling their stock on them, and there were some screenshots, and Robinhood denies this. However, there are certain conditions that Robinhood would sell your stock on you without you even knowing, and people were saying that they were selling their GameStop stock on them. Robinhood warned some investors with options in GameStop and AMC that it will automatically sell off their stake to reduce risk. And you know that they would just apply that to everybody and just well, it was risky. It's the same thing like Facebook and well, we have to shut down this channel because you're endangering the public. What was it? Carl Moon got freaking shut down again yesterday because his Bitcoin price information was dangerous and harmful content. This is the bullshit that goes on, and this is how they're going to control you. And it's not only with stuff like this, but it's with your thoughts and your beliefs and what you think is normal and what you think is proper. It's going to be told that it's not. What was it? Twitter the other day had CP on it. I sent out a tweet on it, and they wouldn't take the CP off. They wouldn't delete it. They wouldn't ban the user. They said it didn't violate their terms of service. And I don't know how CP doesn't violate anybody's terms of service. Trying to get you to think that it's okay. Trying to control your thoughts. It's the same way that they're doing with this. We're trying to protect you. Yeah, you can kiss my ass. It's bullshit. Now, the thing that adds real salt and rubs it in is you have the Melvin Capital, and I think it's also Citron, and it's owned by Citadel. And these are the guys that placed the bet, and they deserve to take a beating because they made a bad bet. Citadel had to bail them out with $3 billion to close the positions. They claim they closed them. I don't know. People are saying maybe they didn't. To close those positions. The cheaper they could bring the price down before they close the positions means that they could save a few billion. When the price was $330 and they had to close it out, it may have cost them $6 billion. But when they got the price down to $190 today, $150 today, they could close it out. They only had to cost them $3 billion. So they made $3 billion by screwing with the market, by having things like not being able to purchase anymore, by blocking the average Joe. I mean, just blatant bullshit. Just blatant manipulation. This clearly is an issue. And Robinhood, who doesn't charge you, sends a lot of their trades through Citadel. Citadel makes money by buying the stock first for themselves and then reselling it to you with a little extra profit. And then they make a little chunk of money off you for every purchase. They get information about your account. And this is how they make money. They got fined for stuff like this just recently. You know damn well if the whole business model of Robinhood's existence was based on Citadel, who just had to spend $3 billion. The collusion is obscene. This is just literally obscene. It's god awful. They claim, no, we don't own Robinhood, and we didn't tell them to do that. Lying sack of crap. I don't know if they told them or not, but clearly they all worked in unison for their own survival and existence. You just think about this. These guys put the existence of their company, going to jail, Robinhood, violating God knows how many laws, getting sued by investors, and they looked at that on the on the con side, and the pro side of how much money that was on the table, and believe it or not, they chose to violate securities laws, to deal with lawsuits, antitrust lawsuits, and this, that, and the other thing, and SEC violation lawsuits, the potential ability to go to jail. That was cheaper to them, the better deal. Can you imagine the amount of money? There were people that looked up and they were looking at the charts, and they were saying that it could be upwards of $70 billion that's going to end up being lost. And it's rather shocking to see that to them, all those options was the best option. To go to jail, get sued, violate SEC laws. That was the better option. You know there was a shit ton of money. A ton of money. It's craziness. This has got to change. Alex Chalkin, his letter that Dr. Paul Gosser sent to the Department of Justice to open up an investigation regarding the conflict of interest between Robinhood and Citadel. So Congress is acting. Keep an eye over the next few days. Let's see if our government, who takes money, takes parts of our lives. You work from January to April. It was a Freedom Day, April something. Some people work till May just to pay the government before you actually, to cover the taxes. That's like the first 3 or 4 months of the year you work for the government. You're an indentured servant to the government so that they can, quote, protect us and general welfare and help those that are in need. And to make sure the goddamn criminals don't take our freaking money and freaking do bullshit. That's their job, and they better jump on it. I'm disgusted over the whole thing. I wanted to do Electroneum show, but there's no way that Electroneum will fit into this after all this. I'll have to do another show on that. I want to keep it separate because there's so much gooey goodness for Electroneum, and it doesn't belong in this show. So I apologize up front. Don't let this go. Write your representatives. get rid of your get rid of this company. If you're using their tools, get rid of it. They care less about you, and they prove that you're meaningless to them. I'll see you guys next time. Sorry for being an asshole tonight, but I'm just pissed.